if you're watching this on the day of release, happy Halloween. To me, that's still 8 days away. Yeah, I thought I'd do something to mark the day. So I'm in my car again. I'm only traveling 5 miles this time, only 5 miles away to a suitable location, which is Pluckley, dubbed the most haunted village in England. So here I am in the beautiful village of Pluckley, a very, very old village. There is thought that it gets its name from a Saxon man called Plucker, who lived around here in the 9th century. All right. Beautiful, quaint, very old village, sitting on the edge of the Andredsweld Weald, which was a vast forest that once used to cover all of the southeast of England. I mean, it was so large. That's why so many towns and villages that you get here in Kent end in den. So you have Biddenden, you have Betherston, you have Marden, Smarden. Den is an old word for clearing in the forest. So anywhere where you've got a place of habitation ending in den, it was part of this huge, great forest. Very, very dense in places, and it was often used throughout history. In times of invasion, people would actually go and hide in there. But also it was a living place for all sorts of highwaymen and criminals, etc., etc. But that's what I love about history. I mean, that's how it was. But you know, so much of Kent now is cleared of the forest because of, you know, agriculture, and also something that mustn't be overlooked is shipbuilding. You always need trees, you always need timber. So Pluckley itself then, it's famous for 2 things really. One is the Darling Buds of May back in the 1980s was filmed here, all on location. But also, yes, the other thing it's famous for was in 1998, the Guinness Book of World Records labelled it the most haunted village in England, with 12 official ghosts, with maybe up to 16 other being reported. Now, I know people who live in Pluckley, and nobody's exactly bothered by this label. They're not proud of it. They're not bothered by it. I think they'd be bothered by it more if you had some sort of like crass commercialization to do with it. There's no ghostly gift shops or anything like that. You've got no ghosts on the road signs or anything like that. If you didn't know about it and you drove through the village like these people were doing, maybe you wouldn't have a clue. The only times I think it has any sort of impact on people living in the village is when you have the endless ghost hunt type TV programs. If you have a ghost hunt program, you're going to end up in Pluckley. You're going to have a film crew down here, and you're going to have people wandering around. And that's why I'm very self-conscious today, because sorry, that was a conker or something that just landed on my roof. Yeah, I'm very self-conscious today because I'm doing that very thing. It's a week till Halloween, and I'm off visiting ghost sites. So, or was that a ghost then telling me to clear off? I don't know. So I'm very self-conscious about this, what I'm just about to do. I don't want to annoy people. I don't want to upset people. I don't want to wind people up, but I do want to get out and have a wander. There's a couple places I want to go to that are just here in the centre. This white house in front of you, that's the street there, and up there you've got the church. There's something to do with the church. If I haven't got witnesses, I will look at things, all right? But other things, the locations I want to visit are quite spaced out here. So I'm going to go up that street there to the church, maybe do a bit of filming, but then I'm going to move on and away from these conkers or spirits or whatever it is, okay? Impeccable timing as ever. Just as I go to start videoing, some bloke over there's got his hedge trimmer out. Anyway, so this is the churchyard of St Nicholas's Church, and I'm in this bit because in the church there's been reports of strange dancing lights seen in the church, and apparently in the early 1970s some paranormal investigators, I hope that guy's not too loud for you, some paranormal investigators came here and spent the night trying to record anything. Nothing was recorded, and when the vicar came in the next morning to ask how they got on, they said, well, not much. Your dog was keeping us company. He kept coming in and seeing us from time to time, and the vicar goes, I haven't got a dog. So that's the thing of note here, not the most thrilling of ghostly tales, so I'm going to move on. Something I find quite curious, you see that house over there, with its windows with the curve at the top. I've seen that that's a sign of the Deering family, who were like massive landowners around here, and many houses here in Pluckley have these rounded tops to the windows. But I don't know about that, because I used to live in a Victorian cottage in Maidstone, which I don't think has any connection with the Deering family, and that's the style it was. So I don't know. Anyway, beautiful church, beautiful day. Shame about the hedge trimmer. That's what I mean about the windows there. Absolutely everywhere. Maybe there is something to it after all. Right, I'm a couple of minutes down the road, and this place is called Greystones, all right, and it's built on the site of an old rectory. And yeah, the story goes that there was a monk who was in love with a woman who lived down there at Rose Cottage, who spurned his advances, and he fell into a deep depression and died. And apparently he can be seen from time to time wandering the fields in his brown robes. All right. Also, other people say, I mean, I've just driven down this road, but apparently there's a bit of an atmos to the place if you should walk it. I'm trying to find Rose Cottage. It's down there on the right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull over at any point and talk about it. If not, I'll have to do it after the fact. Well, I never found it. It was somewhere there on my right, but I couldn't find it. But it seems that the woman involved committed suicide by drinking a potion she made of ivy juice and poisonous berries. And in that house, things are moved, and there are strange groans and sighs in that house that I can't find. All right, moving on. I guess to get a true feel of the place, you'd have to walk it all, but it's going to take, you know, a good chunk of a day to do so. I'm 2 or 3 miles outside the village now, so yeah, if you were thinking of coming here and having a wander around, I would set aside, as I say, a day. Anyway, this is the point now I'm going to be the most self-conscious. That's the Smarden Road, and it's quite a busy road, and where I'm going is just where my finger is right now, if I can find it. This is the one I really wanted to see, but I'm going to be self-conscious because it's going to be obvious what I'm doing, if you see what I mean. All right, I'm going to try and have to talk through the traffic. So here we are, Pinnock Bridge. This is the place I was especially keen to seek out. It's hard to find because it's not on any maps, and you can't Google it. It's not called Pinnock Bridge. That's a good view just in there. I'm rather self-conscious, but let's crack on. Pinnock Bridge. There's the bridge. It's just I'll pause during the traffic. There we go. Right, so in the early 20th century, there was an old eccentric lady who made a living from picking and selling watercress. She is called the watercress lady, and every evening she would come here and sit on this bridge, smoke her clay pipe. It's kind of lovely and quiet. Smoke her clay pipe and drink her gin. And apparently one night she fell asleep on this bridge, which is barely a bridge. I mean, look, that's how high up it is. Fell asleep, and it seems that her clay pipe, which was still lit, dropped from her mouth, ignited her clothes. And she was burnt to death. She was burnt to death. Her body was found the next day. Her burnt body with her clay pipe and gin flask off to one side. Pause for the lorry. And there have been many reports since then of a screaming, howling figure, all aflame, in this actual area. I mean, we have fields. That's the way I've just come. Let's pull back while there's no traffic. See, it's a tiny little bridge. But yeah, many reports of a screaming, howling figure, all aflame, in this area. Although recently, apparently, that has now moved to pale lights, pink lights hovering in the spot where she died. All right. Okay, I'm going up that road now. All right, nearly at the end. This junction is called Fright Corner. Well, that's the local name for it. You won't find that on Google, Fright Corner. But, you know, legend has it. Hang on. Timing again. No, legend has it that there was a highwayman here. He was being chased by the law, and he made his last stand here with his back to an oak tree. And he put up quite a fight, but he was finally run through by several swords. And people have seen since then the actual fight reenacted at this corner, or his body slumped against the tree with a sword sticking out his chest. All right, one more place to go, which is that way. Oh, before I go, when I got back in my car and came up that road, the next place up that is Watercress Farm. So I'm guessing that's a watercress farm for the old lady. Right, my last place of the day, and I'm not going to walk too far. It's incredibly muddy, and I'm only wearing trainers. So sorry about the noise. I haven't been able to penetrate here as far as I would have liked. This is Deering Woods, named after the family that I was talking about earlier. And it's a very old wood. It's in the Domesday Book, it's mentioned, and it's part of that huge great forest. So it's called Deering Woods, but again, there's a local name for it, and that is the Screaming Woods, because there's been many account of people walking through the woods and you would hear screams, far off distant screams, and you know, you look for what on earth's going on, nothing happens. Nothing can be found. All very Blair Witch. So that's it. I'm finishing with the Screaming Woods. It's gone quite well today. It's a short video, this one. But like I say, I'm self-conscious that it's, you know, a week from Halloween and I'm going around filming. I don't want to annoy people. But, oh, it's gone real quiet. Will I get a scream? So, yeah, no, it's a nice little ramble through Pluckley. Even though it's a week till Halloween, I haven't seen anything in the way of decorations in anyone's gardens or houses or anything. I don't know if they deliberately downplay it because they don't want that, I don't know. But anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Happy Halloween if you're watching it on Halloween. And yeah, see you next time.